Okay, what's up, YouTubers? This is your guy, Mr. Evaluator. And what we're going to be doing today is Trigon versus Tears. Okay, so for those of you who are new, I'm going to explain to you what a tier is. A tier is pretty much like a power scale, it's pretty much like a level of power, right? And basically, the reason why they define it as a tier is, well, obviously in a comic book universe, basically defines what scale of power the character basically goes to, or he pretty much reaches to, which is why in a power scaling community they pretty much use feats to define what scale of power that character goes to. Pretty much like this. Superman had in one of the comics, in one of his comics, was shown to pick up the entire universe and hold it for 3 days, right? And we have in Dragon Ball Z where Goku does not show any feats of picking up the entire universe or holding it for an X amount of time. But it clearly basically shows you that, okay, so Goku only scales to destroying the whole universe, but don't having the power to pick up the universe. So this is what's wrong with the power scaling community, and it's literally a big fallacy and it's really absurd to really say that, oh, because this guy has more feats and this is his tier beats that guy because his tier is planetary. It really doesn't make any sense, because this is why you pretty much understand what that character is literally capable of, but they kind of bypass that and ignore that to the fullest, right? Because disregard what capability a person has. It wasn't shown anywhere according to the source that that capability can scale above that level. So, since there's no solid proof or evidence that this person could do this, it's just headcanon. And this is what they say. But let me go ahead and get to the point. Okay, according to the DC universe, Trigon was literally stated out of himself. Okay, when I look back at one of my YouTubers' comments, they literally reconfirmed that Trigon came from nothingness. Okay, because he himself even said himself that evil and darkness just literally gave him a road to enter the DC universe. Now, for those of you who do know, I'm gonna tell you, Trigon is literally a interdimensional demon, and being an interdimensional demon means that this guy lives in a dimension that is clearly bigger than the DC universe. Okay, this guy's dimension is clearly bigger than the DC universe, and he pretty much, when he goes inside the DC universe, it's almost like that. It's like a chess game to him. It's a playground. It's something he can literally go in and like just toy around with. But unlike the writers giving him that capability, as I said, that Trigon is basically the essence of darkness and evil himself. He is evil, and evil is infinite. So if you really clearly think about it, that when you read the comics, it clearly basically shows you that Trigon is literally evil. And like, he can literally, whatever, he can absorb darkness. He can absorb other evil and make it his own evil. Like, seriously, whatever evil you have, he can literally make that his own evil. Trigon was literally formed from nothingness, bro. So it was almost like on Azarath, they took all their dark thoughts and all their dark magic and just threw it away, right? But this was an entrance of literally creating Trigon. So for those of you who don't know, Trigon is literally creation of evil itself. He is the creation of evil. He is evil. So that clearly basically shows you He is evil. He is the ideal of evil, and he has and is literally the concept of evil. Now, here's another guy. Upside down man. He basically resides in fear, and so anybody that pretty much has any fear in their heart pretty much kind of, just they destroy they he can pretty much beat them, even if it's a small speck of fear. But Trigon abides off of darkness and evil itself, and if he go through any infinite layers of darkness, he could take that form of darkness and make it into his own frequency, and his frequency is almost like a contamination. So upside down man don't have to have fear. If he resides in any speck of evil, that frequency can basically scale to upside down's man power, and scaling to his literal power will put Trigon on that level. So literally, the source material specifically says that Trigon absorbed all of the evil out of the heart of darkness. The heart of darkness was summoned and made to consume Trigon because this thing ate evil. Okay, it literally ate evil. Trigon is the embodiment of evil. He is the concept of evil in the DC universe, which pretty much puts him way back to chaos. He is the concept of chaos throughout the entire DC universe. Now, we have shown that Bizarro beat Trigon, John Constantine even beat Trigon, but it doesn't literally, but it really doesn't even matter because that's just, I'll just say that, let's just say that that's just an avatar. Or the writer's just writing Trigon in a corner because, if they literally given the story to Trigon, he will literally take over the entire DC universe, period. He would literally, there will be not one creature in all of the universe of DC universe that will take on Trigon, because Trigon is almost like he's like a dark contamination, a darkness that can clutter you, like a speck of darkness that can get in your mind, and literally, like, he could take that, what he put in your mind, and have your scale of power. Like, if Trigon was literally going to like corrupt, if he was going to corrupt Raven's mind, well, Raven is made from her father and her mother, so there's two sides of her father's full power. But she even so claims that Trigon is literally infinite in its true form. So this goes back to what I was literally saying from the beginning. Trigon is literally infinite. Like, DC's reality, Stephen King's reality, is like a playground to him. Like, if he looks like, okay, so this is what I'm going to explain. Pennywise true form, Maturin and others like him, and Gan is the reason why the Stephen King universe exists. Okay? They are the ideal that created the Stephen King universe. So it starts off with Stephen King. Stephen King makes Pennywise, Gan, and Maturin, and all of these other guys that, is right with them, and and they have reality of themselves, and their reality balances the entire Stephen King universe. So it's pretty much like these guys are the what you call, they're the foundation. I mean, Stephen King is the foundation, but these guys are the blueprints that created the whole universe. So in Trigon's eyes, their reality and this whole concept of the Stephen King universe will be a literal joke to Trigon. Okay? Because we're talking about a dimension that does not have a reality, a dimension that time, concept, none of that stuff really applies to Trigon and his reality. Go back to the source material. He said out of his own mouth that darkness and evil, literally, darkness and evil gave him a way to be created, like to literally step into the DC universe. It was a road for him to step in the DC universe. So this even confirms that Trigon is literally bigger than what we think he is. He's literally bigger than what people actually think he is. And so, literally, Trigon feeds off of chaos, he feeds off of evil, and he feeds off of dark thoughts, which goes back to what I said from the beginning, that Trigon was literally made to fight the belief of humanity. The belief of humanity. He was literally made to corrupt people's minds. This is a lowball. This is a lowball. Like, if you pay very close attention, man, Trigon is literally it says, according to the source material, DC Comics, that Trigon was made from the embodiment of darkness and evil. He is the embodiment of evil. And what is evil? Evil is darkness. Darkness is evil. He could literally, and so this is what I'm going to say. When he was a child on his planet, right? On his planet, how was he able to conquer his whole planet? Why, did he just sit there? Did he train? No, he was the embodiment of darkness and evil. So therefore, darkness and evil gave him a form, and giving him a form is almost like Pennywise. When Pennywise enter creation, his avatar takes a form. So literally, evil is infinite. Evil is literally infinite. And so compared to Trigon, evil took a form. Evil took a avatar, and this avatar is Trigon. This avatar is literally Trigon, and his avatar has the ability to literally, yeah, to like literally absorb other evils and make it his own evil and scale to that layer of power. So if you clearly understand, his avatar is him. He is his own avatar. So, in the reality of Trigon and who Trigon really is, Trigon is the concept of evil. He is evil. Like, that's who he is. He's bigger than Lucifer Morningstar. He's bigger than Spectre. He's bigger than Phantom. He's bigger than the entire DC universe, man. Like, seriously, this is what it literally comes up to, because if he's not if he's not, then why should he have this capability to make others evil his own evil? When he was a child, at according to the source material, he killed his he at the age of 30 he ruled his own dimension, right? So even as a child, he managed to yeah, he literally managed to like conquer and rule his own planet. So this basically tells you that he was a child. The power of evil literally gave this guy intellectualism. And intellectualism is not even a thing to Trigon. Intellectualism is not even a thing to Trigon. Pennywise's reality is literally a joke. Like, Pennywise being the reason why the entire Stephen King universe exists is a joke. It's a big joke to Trigon. Trigon literally sits down and just like, Pennywise's reality is like a television show. Okay? That's what it is. Because the explanation behind that is that Trigon is his own dimension. In a sense, evil gave him a form. Trigon is literally out of the concept of the authors. So whatever Trigon literally is, he is whatever he steps into gives him. Oh my gosh, bro, this is unbelievable, man. So Trigon has a capability to absorb darkness and evil. So whatever he truly is, evil and darkness gave him a form, even out of Raven's literal mouth. Like, we do know that freaking Pennywise avatar is stuck to limitations, but not Trigon's avatar. Like, Raven said in her okay, Trigon's true form, he is infinite. And why does she say this? Like, she says this because he can literally have power to like basically corrupt her, but since she was made from her mother, she literally has the she could literally fight against her father and like put his avatar in prison. But in actuality, what Trigon truly is, Trigon is literally, in his true form, he's bigger than evil. In his true form, he's literally bigger than evil. So I'm going to explain it to you like this. Whatever Trigon is, okay, whatever he is, he takes the form of. And taking the form of, he is pretty much like the ability and characteristics of anything he takes the form of. So if Trigon was to step in MKU, just a prime example, if Trigon's true form was to step into uh the Mortal Kombat universe, he will be Shujinko, right? Okay, so being Shujinko, he possesses the ability to absorb other powers and make it his own on top of what he already has at any concept. This is literally Trigon. So in actuality, Trigon is too Trigon, like I said, if there was evil that was omnipresence, which it is, there is evil that is omnipotent and omniscient. Trigon could literally walk to that scale of power and absorb that scale of power and become the scale of power and become that scale of power on top of what he already has. So clearly, he's done this in the DC Comics. He went from planetary as a kid, and at 6 years old, he destroyed his whole planet. At 6 years old. So at 6 years old, he absorbed all of the evil throughout that whole planet. It was planetary. Then as he got older, he began to absorb all of the evil throughout the whew, he absorbed all of the evil throughout the solar system and was able to crush the solar system. Absorbed all of the evil out of the galaxy and actually absorbed all of the evil out of the solar system, plus what he already had, made him galaxy. And, absorbed all the evil throughout the galaxy. He absorbed all of the evil throughout the galaxy and literally stepped inside and literally became universal, absorbed all of the evil throughout the universe and became multiversal, okay? Destroying the whole macroverse. So he can absorb all of the evil out of the infinite macroverse and become times that. If he absorbs any form of darkness, we already have it. If he goes straight to Pennywise, he could take that darkness out of Pennywise and like literally make that his own darkness and scale above whatever concept Pennywise goes to. So Pennywise is the reason that Pennywise is the reason why that the Stephen King universe exists. So like a sense, like his reality does not, his reality is his reality. This is his reality. But Trigon's reality does not, there is no reality in Trigon's. In Trigon true form, there is no reality. It was shown that, even confirmed in the Stephen King books, that Pennywise reality is bigger than the reality that is inside creation. But Trigon, creation doesn't even apply to Trigon. Creation only applied when he took a form, guys. Creation only applied to Trigon when he literally took a form. Like, so basically, the writers was literally telling you that Trigon in his true form, whatever he truly is too big for DC. And nobody wants to, and even if they were to write it, it would not give them no concept or no purpose of the whole story of Trigon's true form, like literally. So he had to come from a concept. Well, actually, in Trigon's dimension, there is no concept, there is no reality. He ruled his own dimension at the age of 30, right? This is Trigon. Creation only applied when he took a form. Okay, and even taking a form, he was still immortal, and his power was literally still immeasurable. So as I said from the beginning, this Trigon, whoever he truly is, this guy will literally be the god of the Stephen King universe. Okay, he will literally be the god of the Stephen King universe, because everything about Trigon is darkness and evil, and literally, like it's just unbelievable. Trigon is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. Having that capability, this guy is nothing to be underestimated. And like I said, Pennywise is the heart of darkness, right? But again, the heart of darkness isn't the reason why DC exists. But if it was, so it's not the reason why it exists. It only exists, well, actually it kind of does, because the heart of darkness is pretty much summoned to kind of, well, not balance the universe. Whenever it's summoned, any evil that is too greater than the other pretty much takes, kind of erases it to set the balance throughout the entire universe. So this was even stated, like, if the heart of darkness can't consume Trigon, then what literally makes you think that John Constantine and Bizarro could beat Trigon? Like, just one shotting him. Like, how is that even so? That Bizarro and Trigon could literally, that Bizarro and John Constantine could beat Trigon, but the Heart of Darkness couldn't consume him, when it was literally stated that this creature pretty much consumed all the evil throughout the galaxies all across the universe. Like, compared to John Constantine, like, if John Constantine was literally evil, like, it'll probably consume Constantine as well. But I mean, because fate is by his side, so if it was destined for him to literally beat the Heart of Darkness, he probably would, because of fate. But Trigon is literally bigger than fate. If fate literally made it destined for John Constantine to beat Trigon, I mean, even if it was so, he would probably only beat the creation of Trigon, but Trigon would literally just come back in another form and be even stronger. And actually, he will literally corrupt the concept of fate throughout the DC universe and make fate dark and evil. And this will be him ruling the entire DC universe. And pretty much, it was even like, this is why Raven has to be stronger than her dad, so that he can't really have that source of power. Because literally, since he have sons and daughters, if you really look at it, um Raven is a part of Trigon. For some reason, she's literally a part of Trigon's avatar. So by her saying in his true form, he is literally infinite, she was really talking about the true form of Trigon that sits in a dark dimension, that doesn't even have a reality, that does not have no time, that does not have nothing, bro. He sits in nothing, bro. Like, Trigon sits in nothing, okay? And there is no reality. There is no concept. There is no author. There's nothing in Trigon's true form. In his dimension, in his true form, in his dimension is nothing. Like imaginations, imagination, like Pennywise whole reality, his reality, Gan's reality, like, all of that will literally be an imagination to Trigon, because reality doesn't exist to Trigon. It really doesn't. Time does not affect him. Death does not affect him. There is no reality. So if there is no reality, reality, in order for there to be reality, there has to be life. Okay? There has to be life. And if there's life, there's death in some sort of way. So even if this reality is big and doesn't have death, right? But this reality is the reason why the whole Stephen King universe exists. But again, it's still reality. It's still reality that is bigger than the reality that does have indentation. But Trigon in his dimension, there is no reality. So his reality, like Trigon does not have a reality. He has a dimension. In a dimension, there is no reality. So apparently this darkness and this evil gave him a road to literally be creation itself. And he goes all the way to the concept of chaos and order. So Trigon, according to the DC Comics, will literally be the chaos that pretty much balances the entire DC universe versus the order, versus the order that pretty much balance out the DC universe, because Barbados uh balances the dark universes and puts the dark universes in order. But the thing about it is that Trigon is based on evil. Like his whole concept is evil and darkness. And in his reality, like Barbados will literally be in a figment of his imagination, bro. Literally. Because like Trigon is literally immeasurable. Even if Barbados was immeasurable, he doesn't have a capability to absorb darkness, become the power level of the amount of darkness he absorbs. So with Trigon literally absorbing darkness and making it his own, literally proves to you that Trigon's reality is, well, actually, Trigon's dimension is bigger than the entire the ideal, the concept of the DC universe. Okay, and like he doesn't have a reality because he's immortal. So if Trigon is immortal and they never told you how did he kill him, did he use Raven's magic, did Bazaar use Raven's magic, or did Dr. or John Constantine use Raven's magic to beat, because only Raven could beat Trigon because she's stronger than him. So Trigon's true form of darkness, his dimension, where reality doesn't even apply to him, his dimension sits in Raven. And Raven pretty much is the light of that dimension. And she pretty much could fracture Trigon in his dimension. But what he has to do is corrupt her with anger emotions, because if Raven in her true form comes out of creation, like literally there is no emotions. Like she is equal to her father. Like she is just another part of her father that has immeasurable power, right? Raven could literally look at omnipotence, she could look at omnipresent, and she look at omniscient, and pretty much absorb those powers, and like she becomes that. Like seriously, man, this is the reason why Raven could pretty much, but she chooses not to. Okay, she chooses not to because this is not like once she took a form like from her mother, she tend to stay in bounds of creation. She doesn't want to go out of it, man. And she, even if she has to live on forever to fight her father in his true form to keep him from coming into the DC universe, bro. She would literally have to do this. Like, even not even the top high tier. So it goes all the way back to Trigon versus Tears. Like, Tears don't even apply to Trigon because he's just so big. Like, all of this is just a low ball, too. This is a low ball. But the only high ball, like, I can throw in there, right, is that his dimension, right, does not have reality, does not have no form or any concept of reality. But you may could say, well, Trigon is literally life. He has some form of life. So life is what pretty much runs. Because if there is no life, then there's nothing. But the thing about Trigon is that Trigon is evil forward, infinite, and he's evil backwards to infinite. So Trigon literally has no indentation. Pennywise in his true form, however, does. So, and the way I'll say this is because he is the reason the entire DC universe exists. Well, not DC universe. He is the reason why the entire Stephen King universe exists, because he pretty much, his reality balances Maturin's reality, which pretty much created the entire Stephen King universe. And pretty much, this is why, Gant's reality and all their reality pretty much create the entire Stephen King universe. And now we have Trigon, who basically scales all the way up to the concept of chaos. And so he pretty much predates the entire DC universe as well, because in his dimension there is no reality. The authors wrote about him because they gave him a story. His avatar stepped inside creation, and with Bizarro beating him, I'm just gonna go on and say that his avatar pretty much did not possess the capabilities of darkness or whatnot. But in Trigon's true form, he actually can. Okay, so there's no way that Bizarro John Constantine will literally beat Trigon if he was literally made to corrupt and fight the beliefs of humanity. He will literally, Trigon has even shown, my bad guys, Trigon has even literally shown to fight reality itself. His entire dimension fights reality, dude. Fights against reality. Are you kidding me? And this was even shown because, like, according to the source, when Trigon, it wasn't the presence. The presence is just the belief of humanity. So I'm not going to say that the belief of humanity is bigger than Trigon. Trigon absorbs evil. And in his dimension, there's nothing but darkness and infinite darkness. And he literally can corrupt imagination. So he can corrupt presence if he wants to. And if he corrupts presence, whatever created the presence will literally be corrupted as well with Trigon's frequency. So, all in all, Trigon having this capability literally puts him out of the concept of the authors and really say that he's bigger than anything ever imagined in history. Um, the only one person I can clearly see fighting Trigon in his true form is literally Goku. Because the thing about it, and any other saying, the thing about it is that Goku has and possesses the ability to multiply his powers consistently. So putting Goku on a scale to literally fight a dimension, like Trigon is a dimension, to literally fight a dimension like that kind of clearly goes against, just, well, a person that can multiply his powers, he can literally, replicate everything Goku do and multiply his powers. But once these guys tap into infinity, like, yeah, they're going to be going for a long time. They're going to be going for a very long time. And not only that both of them will be infinitely multiplying their powers. Like, Trigon would just possibly multiply his powers, let's just say once, at a scale of 100 times, while Goku tapping into infinity is literally multiplying his power 50 times. So every time Trigon would literally merge with himself, Goku being into infinity would just, like, literally infinitely, like multiply his powers times 50. So in this case, I'm going to keep it at a low ball. Trigon will infinitely multiply himself and merge with himself, at least on a scale of 100 times his power. But Goku would literally go Super Saiyan, and whatever he basically goes to his base form will possibly be 450. When he goes Super Saiyan, that'll be 450 plus 50 times infinity that power. So he would literally give Trigon in his true form a run for his freaking money. So this is what it like clearly is. So if these guys is fighting at the concept of the concept of creation, like, he could literally borrow the positive energy from the concept of creation, and they're gonna be gone forever. Like, if Goku tapped into infinity, it'll literally make him immortal, because having infinite Kai literally makes the being possessed to makes that Saiyan immortal. But we've pretty much seen in Goku Black, the stupid Dragon Ball Super series, where he did have infinite Kai until he then had to do some sort of, I didn't watch it, but whatever that guy did, he literally became immortal. So you guys can correct me at the comment. Just please write below and tell me, how did Goku Black become immortal? Was it that he tapped into infinite amount of power, or did he use some type of magic spell to make him immortal, or some stupid stuff? But whatever he did, and if he really actually did that, then Toriyama's just being stupid and he's lying to you, because actually, whatever a Saiyan's Kai, right? The Kai gives them the ability to do the things they do. So when they physically train their body, when the Saiyan physically train their body doing push-ups and stuff, they Kai gets stronger. So if they were to tap into infinity with their Kai, it'll literally give them the ability of immortality. Like, seriously. But they have to train their body to, like, immortality. They're going to have to train their body to different scales of immortality. So it just won't be immortality universal. Like, he's going to have to start from a planetary scale of being immortal. He will be immortal. So that means an infinite blast at the scale of the universe, right? And his power in his flesh is like immortal. It'll do some severe damage to him. But the point of his Kai, like, literally coming out of his body, like, he's gonna have to basically stretch his immortality at the scale of the entire universe. So if his Kai is literally universal and he taps into infinity and it possesses him like being immortal, then he's gonna have to train that, you know, tap into, then he's gonna have to basically stretch that immortality like to the universe or something. I'm just saying, if he was planetary and tapped into immortal, he's gonna have to stretch his immortality at the universal scale, so that, because there's other key blasts out there that is at the universal scale and could literally obliterate immortal beings because of their power being even stronger than that. So it will eat the essence of that Kai will literally eat the essence of that Saiyan's immortality, because they're simply stronger than them. So somebody who isn't immortal can literally beat somebody who is immortal in the Dragon Ball Z universe, because their Kai gives them the ability to do literal things unimaginable. So, like, there's not one anime you can literally, well, I'm not even going to say that. But anyways, this is the whole point about Dragon Ball Z universe. So the only person who's literally deemed to fight Trigon in its true form in his dimension is literally Goku, Vegeta, Nappa, Raditz, Turtles, pretty much any Saiyan that can literally multiply their power consistently. So, like, this guy will, like, but I'm just gonna say Goku, because Goku literally can multiply all his powers, and it was shown that he has. We've never seen Nappa go Super Saiyan, but I'm not gonna say that he can't go Super Saiyan, because if he goes Super Saiyan, he'd be 50 times his base power. Whatever scale of power he pretty much trained to, he can literally multiply that. So yeah, Nappa and all these guys will literally give Trigon a run for his money. So if Trigon in his true form was to literally fight Goku and Vegeta at the same time, like, he can merge with himself equal to their power once they tap into infinity, but they can literally, it'll just literally be like Omega Shenron versus Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So yeah, these are the only guys that would definitely give them a run, Trigon in his true form, a run for his money. So in actuality, Trigon is literally bigger than the DC universe in his true form. He's bigger than the DC universe. He's bigger than Stephen King's reality. He's bigger than Pennywise. He's bigger than Gan. He's literally, because the reason why he's bigger is because he could take other evils that is not from his universe and make it his own evil, scaling to that power, as he did with the Heart of Darkness. He literally took the evil that didn't even belong to him. Like, this evil was from Azarath. That wasn't even Trigon's evil. Like, Trigon doesn't even, like, yeah, that wasn't even his evil, bro. So it kind of really literally goes out of the question to literally say that, Trigon has his own doesn't have his own evil, when he really actually does. So all in all, um, Trigon is bigger than Pennywise in its true form. He's bigger than the Stephen King universe, is because he could take other darkness and other evil and make it his own and scale to that layer of power that darkness was. So, like I said, if there was darkness that is omnipresent, omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, he could pretty much absorb that layer of darkness and literally make it his own. So therefore, it he will be omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. So this what kind of literally makes him even bigger than Pennywise. So if a person that has that capability can literally do that stuff, then that means their dimension is a lot bigger than any reality in the well. I'm saying it's a reality, but it's really not a reality. So let me get it correct. So Trigon's reality isn't a reality, it's a dimension. So his dimension and is way more bigger than Stephen King universe, than Stephen King himself and Stephen King's reality, because he could take other evils that don't even belong to him, that's not even his. He could take that evil and make it his own and scale to that power. Like he could go in Maxwell's universe and take the chaos that's in his universe, that's in Maxwell's universe, and become that scale of power. So yeah, he's done that with the Heart of Darkness. He's even shown to do that in the DC universe. Evil that doesn't even belong to him, that doesn't even have no name, like, because evil balances the DC universe with chaos and order, but he could literally take that chaos and make it his own and like pretty much unbalance the DC universe if he wanted to in its true form. But then again, like this existence is outside of the DC universe and outside of the author's concept. So it kind of pretty much will make, because he doesn't have a reality. So even if DC was gonna literally sit on top of make Trigon the foundation of the DC universe, and having him balance the entire DC universe, like it wouldn't be a problem. He'll just sit the entire DC universe on his lap, you know, and just look at it like it's a toy. He's gonna set the DC universe on a trophy, you know. It'll be at his fingertips. This guy's bigger than Gan. Um, but pretty much, if he goes to do that to set and unbalance an entire DC universe, then Raven is gonna literally scale to his power, and like that's where it's gonna go in. She's gonna scale to his power, and and whenever he multiplies himself and merges with himself to be even stronger, Raven's gonna do the same exact thing, and like eventually she's gonna pretty beat him and put his entire dimension in his true form, into a uh interdimensional cell, cage or prison, you know, but the only thing he could possibly do is just get in her mind and like literally make her think. So she is the key of literally defeating Trigon, you know, and like his dimension is bigger. So in actuality, he could take darkness and make it his own and scale to that power. So really, and Raven balances out, so it doesn't matter what he does, she'll still beat him. But compared to Mature and Pennywise and Gan, these guys, Trigon, look as a action figures, and their realities is pretty much like a figment of his imagination. So yeah, like, and all of that is because he can absorb other darkness and other evil and make it his own and scale to the power of what that darkness has or what that darkness is. So if you have any questions or comments, hit it below. This is Mr. Evaluator. Oh, and the guy is also. So literally, Trigon came from a nothingness. So this nothingness is a dimension with no reality, no life, or anything. So yeah, so his dimension is bigger than the reality of the whole Stephen King universe, and absorbed by, because he can absorb other darkness and make it his own. Any questions or comments, hit it below. Peace.